you know, it wasn't so inviting at that time. Your guards had to do other things, but he could do it all, man. And Arizona almost having the opportunity to play against him in college. And I was shaking in my boots there. Garland and Mitchell, do you think size is an issue? I mean, they can score with the best of them, but how about defensively in the size? Because they're both smaller guards. Does that have an impact in postseason play?
You never know what happens throughout the course of the season. Like the Raptors team right now, guys are down and hurt, so you need to take advantage of these minutes for when they come back.
With some of the game's greats, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I mean, it's just a cool honor, and I'm truly honored.
You, as his favorite player, is Kevin Durant, right? and you know, deep three is good. And
that is not an easy position because it's easy to lead when things are going well. You're having a great night, but the hardest time to lead is when you're not playing well and your team.
Piston team expecting big things. They surrounded him with more veterans. Jerome went off balance shot. He thought he got fouled. I mentioned this 2 nights ago. Sometimes you just forget how big he is. He's a big guy. 6'9", 220. Yeah. How about that time by Ty Jerome? Jerome with some instant offense 2 nights ago in Toronto. Jerome bothered by Fontecchio. We're tied at 46. He'll weave his way inside, and Ty Jerome continues to attack.
The Cavs playing best basketball in the league, and this young man had a big hand to doing that, you know.
Jerome ducks under his defender, and Marcus Sasser, and he lays it up and in. Ty Jerome gives the Cavs a 12-point lead.
Wait and give us the scouting report Monday. Ty Jerome. That'll prompt a timeout called by Brian Keefe, who is not happy. That was an easy layup.
To stop shooting and start dishing. Guess what? He stayed confident within himself and his shot. He's knocked down his last 2 threes. He just walked on the court to shoot. You got to go up and down, bump a couple times, get touched, and then go up there and knock down 3 free throws. How many are you making? Was in Utah with Donovan Mitchell. Now they have reunited. I mean, that's his guy. So they didn't put the band back together. Good to see Johnny Bryan and his success.
Ty Jerome goes to McBride, who defends it well. Huck Porty, who's giving Tom Thibodeau some good minutes.
Know what the Knicks are doing tonight, folks?
Whoa! Ty Jerome took it right away from Hart, who felt he was fouled.
Deals back to Dean Wade, once more to Jerome. The Cavaliers have this 19-point lead. Jerome off one leg, gets the roll. Cavaliers 59, Lakers 38. Cavs put the finishing touches on their 5th straight victory. Thompson and Jerome play catch. Ty fires, and Ty nails it.
Hey, I love to watch him play.
Ty Jerome goes to the baseline. He loops it up and in. Got his hand at a 3. That's off the mark. Running went 0 for 2 opening night. Jerome fires and scores. Ty Jerome. That's his 2nd triple in this 4th quarter. Late in the 3rd quarter, overcame a 13-point deficit. Took out the Knicks in a hostile environment. They come back here to take on a Lakers team that started off.
This is a group that has the potential, putting it together. Of course, you always got to get a little bit lucky, right? Stay away from injuries.
Yeah.
You know, Ty Jerome, another guy who missed most of last season.
Lead shaved down to 10, had been 18. Here's Jerome, his 3 is good. Here comes Black. Jerome pokes it away. Ty Jerome able to reverse it in off the steal.
Intensity that he's played this entire game with. Uh-oh.
Tough 2.
Measure and set up Lillard. Lillard gets met at midcourt. Jerome knocks it away. Jerome to the hole.
Ty Jerome being just very aggressive. You make mistakes. Go ahead and settle down, run your offense, get something good out of it.
Jerome gets it to go. Boy, he plays at his own pace. He took his time. The Cavalier point guard. Jerome gets some open space. Floats it up against his body. Gets fouled. And Ty Jerome has a chance for the 3-point play.
Stays at 9. Jerome, back-to-back triples. So Ty Jerome and Craig Porter, they're a deep squad.
They've done a good job, their bench. Jerome got home. You and I talked about him when he was with the Warriors. He made good decisions. A veteran. Jerome for the lead. There you go.
He has brought so much energy off that bench.
Now can you get stops when you're not scoring? Jerome again. He'll get a layup. He got Jeremiah out of position.
Warriors 30. Pajemski's just had his hands full here with Mitchell. Jerome now crossed over. Moody to the basket. He lays it up and in. Jerome becomes the 10th Cavalier to score here in the opening half. Allen twirl. He hits Okoro. Okoro tiptoes baseline. Finds Jerome for three. Oh, goodness! Jerome relays to Wade. Wade puts it on the floor. Broke past Moody. Back to Jerome, who's not vengeful, and that's why. Speaking of doing everything, Okoro at both ends. Here's Jerome for three. Oh, mercy!
His own team. Great defense by Jarrett.
Allen filtered him right into traffic as Jerome took a bump from Wiggins. He puts it up and in. The Ty Jerome show continues. Keep possession.
Get back to moving the ball and taking good shots.
Jerome's floater. It's a Warrior defense that entered action number 2 in the NBA. As Jerome goes down the lane, he puts it up and puts it in. Oh, has Jerome been special tonight? Mobley has just grabbed his 15th rebound to go along with 21 points. Here's Ty Jerome. He got inside Finney-Smith. His 2-drop is good.
Yeah, Ty Jerome.
Ty still has his dribble. He has 6 seconds with which to work. Jerome down the lane. Oh, what a play! Ty Jerome with a dynamite floater.
Mobley and LeVert, your big scoring options right now for Cleveland. Here's Jerome. He's off to a red-hot shooting start this season. He is 58% from 3. Good job by Dosunmu. He's sticking with Sam Merrill. They're trying to get free. Jerome again. So now he is 13 for 21. So that percentage has gone up. Started the season as the starter, and then had to come off the bench. Another one, tied with a nice finish. What a great season, or at least start to it for Ty Jerome, who's found a spot in Cleveland now. He took a shot upstairs. Here's Jerome against White. Knocked away for a moment, but Jerome recovers nicely and scores off the glass.
Remember, Turkish out there, they got him the lead. He's going to roll with him at the end of the quarter.
Jerome moves on Giddy.
Oh, he's talking trash. Oh.
No Paul George, no Tyrese Maxey, no Andre Drummond. And still right there with the thus far perfect Cavaliers. Ty Jerome starting the scoring in this 4th quarter.
He elevates over the defender, gives it a nice soft touch and a chance.
2 of his 25. He had a career high 27 as Jerome rattles in the runner.
Kelly coming weak to strong, making himself available. Gershon, nice find.
16 for Oubre. Jerome answering right back, left alone in the corner.
Here's Karis LeVert. It'll work on Kobe White. Got halfway down the lane, sends it back to Jerome. Jerome just flies to the basket and lays it in. They shoot the 5th most in the NBA. Do the Bulls over 41 a game. Mitchell working on Giddy, deals to an open Jerome. Pump fake, he'll fire, he'll knock it down. He's watched by the lengthy Smith, draws a double. Cavs pass out of it. Jerome looks to creep baseline. Gets where he wanted to go. He puts it up and puts it in. Count it. Goaltending on Smith anyway. Storybook start as the Cavs win the tip, and we are underway. John Michael, Brad Doherty, and Serena Winters. Ty Jerome in his first start as a Cavalier gets the Cavs in the draft a couple of summers ago.
Offense is not very intricate. When you look at Charlotte, they're looking to pass it, and whoever's open shoots that basketball.
Ty Jerome continues
just like that.
Draft the Frenchman Tijan Salon. Jerome's back in the ball game. He'll use a Mobley screen, get 2 feet in the paint. He'll scoop and score.
Boy, that was a fantastic move. That was great footwork. Got to get it just like that.
Ball from the logo, rebounded by Porter. He'll spray off to Jerome. Hey, knock it down.
That's exactly right. Make them pay. If they're going to take a bad shot.
The Cavs have scored 30 or more points in the quarter already, a whopping 34 times as Jerome fires a 3, and they're well on their way to another one here in the 2nd.
He's going to come back do something on the defensive end.
Miller hits a three. Here's Jerome. He'll look to penetrate again. He'll throw it high off the window as Ty Jerome.
A lot of communication there, and the ball was bouncing. Cavs were shifting, and almost that shell defensive drill. They just made a tough shot.
Jerome got hit. He puts it up and in, and Ty Jerome has a chance for a slow motion.
Going at half and really pencil in and dial in on how to try to slow down the Cavaliers. So our third quarters have not been a success.
Oh, what a circus shot by Ty Jerome. He took a bump from Grant Williams. He'll take some air out of the basketball. Now go to work. Hesitation move. Finds Jerome for three. He knocks it down.
Wow, what a big shot by Ty Jerome.
Craig Porter Jr. on the floor for the first time for Cleveland. Jerome, what a year he has had. He missed most all of last year after ankle surgery. Exchanging threes for twos. And Boston up 59-44, a 15-point lead. Jerome throws it down in the second gear and scores the layup. Ty Jerome guarded by Holiday. Jerome strong finish as he discards Drew Holiday. Clock ticks down to 4. Down to 3. Mitchell, no. Mobley. And that's it. The shot will count, but it's not enough for Cleveland.
Cavaliers' Luke Travers has checked in. A rookie out of Australia. Jerome probes, gets inside, banks it up, and banks it in.
Wow, what strength by Jerome. I mean, he's going in there with the Giants.
He challenged 3 of the Cavs, and Travers, Allen, and Porter was in there as well. Niang rumbles to the foul line and finds Ty Jerome.
Tell you what, on the perimeter, did a good job being active with his hands and feet. Good job.
Ty Jerome floats it up. Tyson got a hand on it, and he saves the possession. Jerome for 3. Oh, my.
Nice job by the Cavaliers. Like I say, a lot of communication, a lot of talk, a lot of shots going up from different angles and just out of rhythm. So you got to be smart, be patient.
Jerome nails the 3.
Didn't know that about him. You know, you didn't get to see it.
Thompson gives back to Jerome. Steve Kerr called Jerome a godsend as here he is again. Oh, you go, Ty Jerome.
Wow, my goodness, Ty Jerome.
We're entertaining. There is never a dull movement. We have a lot of comedians on the team, but we are also about our business.
Well, that chemistry has been on display throughout the early portion of the season as Ty Jerome on cue. He now has 18 points.
Everyone's bought into. That's why these guys all came back here. That's why they're here. They want to win a championship, and we're taking the steps towards doing that.
Jerome got another. Ty Jerome has nailed 5 first-half threes. And Earl misses both. John Michael, Brad Doherty, and Serena Winters. The Cavs lead by 12 with 90 seconds to go here in the first half. Ty Jerome again! 60 seconds to go. Here's Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome again!
John, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this.
Cavs 81, Pelicans 60. Boston operates up top. Take a 15-footer that's no good and tracked down by Ty Jerome. We're watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those on the ground in countries around the world and aboard naval ships at sea. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for your service. As from the bottom of our hearts to the bottom.
Shot it was like a clay shooting. It's like pull. He just let that thing go, man.
Jerome to the rim. He lays it in. He can do it all. Ty Jerome with 5 quick points.
Which is the appropriate thing to do. Ty Jerome steals the ball.
Jerome to the basket, puts it up and in. He sheds hurdle as once again Ty. Merrill back to Jerome. Jerome for 3. Hey, knocks it down.
I don't know why I'm surprised.
Portal also had a shirt grabbed by a trailing Darius Garland as Mobley's pass eventually finds Jerome. Jerome on the bounce, drifting jumper. He gets the roll as Ty Jerome has 14 big points. He has scored 25 or more in 3 straight games. He's never done that. He scored 25 or more in 4 straight. This will be the first time in his career. Jerome, my word!
Raptors being very aggressive with the Cavs, challenging him physically.
Jerome works his way inside. He floats and scores. We mentioned Mobley was all over Scotty. 22 tonight. Mobley missed it. Tip time in the air. Good play by Merrill. To poke it ahead to Jerome. Jerome stops. He fires. He knocks it down.
That is a back-breaking shot again.
Garland high steps into the forward court. He'll slow down. Sling one over to Jerome, who got two of the Raptors in the air. Oh my! Ty Jerome.
Use that forearm. You can use that forearm every time. Nice job by Ty Jerome.
Garland avoids a wraparound steal by Daniels. Back to Jerome. What else did you expect?
I guess AC won his bet.
Garland's there. Garland behind the back. Now the Cavs have numbers. Garland to Jerome.
Nice job by Darius. Garland standing.
Trae Young is watched by Ty Jerome, who extends that defense. And he stripped him. Jerome stomps, fires, got it!
There's that guy we've been looking for, Ty Jerome.
104-86. They did switch that foul to Donovan Mitchell a minute ago. Here is a first bucket of the game for Ty Jerome. 107-92. Mobley. Hawks guard that three-point line well. Jerome lays it in. Improved to 9-11, 5-5 at home. And we'll see if it's going to be enough to win this group. We'll find out tonight when Boston plays Chicago.
In terms of the first meeting between these teams, Kenny Atkinson was a little bit hamstrung that game because the Cavs were without 4 regulars. He only played 3 reserves as Ty Jerome checks in, and he promptly does that.
It's tough to get a win in that conference. But you look at the Nuggets, and they're down 10th, 11th, whatever it is, and they just don't have the depth.
Gives the Cavaliers this 11-point lead. Watson cuts. Deals back to Porter. Porter gets run off the line by Okoro. He'll lean into a 12-footer and get it to go.
Jerome and Garland playing together, 2 guys who can run the point. This is Jerome. Jerome turned his ankle early in the season last year. Was only able to play a handful of games, 2 to be exact. That's how they roll in Edmond, Oklahoma. Jerome with an and one. That gets Cleveland over 100 points.
Ty Jerome against Drew Smith. Good work by both guys. Ty Jerome. At the rim, out beyond the arc, and now in the mid-range game.
Here's Jerome, fellow Virginia Cavalier with the teardrop jumper.
Try to get him uncomfortable. Even then he scores a lot of times, but that's all you can do.
Jerome to Niang. Now it's Allen. Back it goes to Jerome. Jerome drives, took a nudge. He bumps and scores as Highsmith.
The offensive rebounds, even more important there. 2 on that possession for Drew Smith.
Jarrett Allen had it pop out, but it's tipped back in by a Heat player.
Poole volley would have ended up on the line. He threw it away. He got his signals crossed with Poole. Ty Jerome lays it in.
Nice job by Ty Jerome. Good steal. Good awareness by Ty.
Tyrese Martin in. Mitchell head and shoulder fake. Euros. Okoro kick. Jerome gets another look, and this time he nails it. Timeout Brooklyn. Clowney takes it on the baseline. Intercepted. It's Jerome. Jerome over Wilson. He's got it.
Here's Donovan Mitchell. Cavs gone 5 of 7 from the field in the second quarter as Ty Jerome was all by his lonesome, and he makes no mistake. Wade rebounds, gang rebounding by the Cavs here in this first half. Wade was in there, so was Merrill and Jerome. Jerome for 3. Hey, knocks it down. I think this is a promising response by the Cavs without Isaac against a player like Giannis, as Ty Jerome nails a 3 just to see what the Cavs did defensively against the Bucks team that really was rolling. They forced Milwaukee into 18 turnovers tonight. That ties a season high for these Bucks, which typically are pretty good at protecting the basketball, as Ty Jerome nestles into a 15-footer. Very similar about our man.
Wow, fantastic.
Robbins over the timeline. AC, by the way, I'm taping the bowl game. Don't tell me if you know the score of the Irish.
I knew you was going to ask that question. I'm not going to say anything.
Thank you. He is rebounded by Mobley, as Mobley will take it himself. Handling into the forward court. Wade back to Jerome. Got it!
I'll tell you, man, that's deep.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. There's always an opening because of the multiple movements, and the only thing that hurts us is when we don't shoot it well. Otherwise, you got a long night against the Cavs.
three. That was KJ off to Caleb. Caleb can't find the range, and here's Tyson. He'll dump off to Jerome. Jerome with a subtle little move. Backed up, Yabusele, and he drills a three. Tristan Thompson has checked in. So has Craig Porter. Jerome on the bounce, down the lane. Finger rolls and scores as Ty Jerome now has 11 points. Slows down, waits for the Cavalry to arrive. Here's Garland off to Jerome. Jerome got McCulloch on a fly-by, and he nails a three.
Yeah, nice job, Ty Jerome. Great ball fake.
He's going to get his own rebound. Jerome opens up. Ty puts it on the floor. His runner is good.
Nice job. Good ball fake by Ty Jerome. He uses those ball fakes.
Westbrook saw it all the way. Nuggets, with just over 7 minutes to go, led 53-50. Now they're back by 11. And the bucket is good.
Wiggins 7 leading the way for the Dubs. Catch and shoot for Ty Jerome, and he bottoms a three. It is a rock fight. Neither team shooting the ball at all. Ty Jerome, he's come off the bench, hit 2 threes, and now pointing at the Warrior bench.
That's the transition defense. Got to get back to dunking some of these. That was an amazing tornado move, though, by Buddy Hield.
By Jerome banking that home, so Jerome has come off the bench.
41-39, their first of the night. Dean Wade goes in and gets it as it was there for the taking. Ty Jerome puts Cleveland right back out on top. Has dealt Cleveland 2 of their 4 losses. We just saw Atlanta down in Georgia. That's good play by Jerome.
Ty Jerome scores on the runner in the paint. Here is Evan Mobley absorbing a lot of contact on a tough drive up the baseline. He went to the perimeter. A driving kick by Donovan Mitchell. A redrive and a score by Ty Jerome. Allen, though, with the offside rebound. Stepping into a three, Ty Jerome.
The dreaded offensive rebound, rotate, wide open guy.
Grabbed by Strus. 5 minutes in, second quarter. Strus looks for Garland backdoor. Finds him off to Jerome. Jerome pockets the corner three. LeVert with a touch. Jerome. Ty Jerome. He'll check in at the next dead ball. Jerome tries to clear himself on green and does.
Nice job, Ty.
On December the 17th.
Doesn't count. Rules are rules, Mike. Rules are rules.
This one, throw it out there. Ty Jerome, nice runner.
Well, it's the second-year man out of Kentucky, was inserted into the rotation as a rookie a season ago as Jerome cuts and Strus finds it.
Little pull-ups, it's turnaround jumpers. When you know what you're about to face on the other end, you get your game ready as Jerome knocks down the little floater.
Took more free throws than anybody in the league this year. Ty Jerome with a steal, great hands. Drives, fakes a pass, and lays it up and in. What a play from Ty Jerome. And it's a 5-point lead for the Cavs. Jerome on the drive, the floater's up, and good. Doing it at both ends here in the fourth, a 7-point lead. Jerome. The runner's up, the runner's good. Some Jerome magic here in the fourth quarter. Cavs up by 4.
That ball, that's perfectly legal. Jerome shuffles into the paint. Raptors by 7. Jerome on the bounce. Mobley cracked shed with a screen, and then Jerome somehow gets it up and in.
International players on this Oklahoma City roster. They began the year as the youngest roster in the NBA. 24 years of age as Jerome rips a three.
They couldn't just tell the players that the future was bright. They needed to feel it, Grant. And there's something about this culture here in OKC that's more than just cliche.
Way back in the San Antonio days, comes from a great pedigree there with the Spurs, and it was a very young, the stars in this league as well, one of the young stars coming back from this hip injury. And you do wonder, and you mentioned they're learning how to play with Hartenstein.
Yeah, against the Hawks, that 60-point performance. Oh, Ty Jerome. Well, Wolves shooting 43% as a team, 41% from beyond the arc. They missed 5 straight shots. That is a tough runner from Ty Jerome. Mitchell for three. Too strong. Another long offensive rebound for the Cavaliers. Ball rotates to Jerome in the corner. Mitchell. Lane opened up. Tossed it out to Jerome. Jerome pump fake. Count it plus the foul. Mitchell for three. Rimming out. And that rebound snagged by Strus out to Jerome. And Jerome is on one.
Grayson Allen has also checked in for the visitors. He's a long-range threat. Ty Jerome orchestrates this offensive sequence, gets inside and floats and scores.
It's like Plumlee threw a hard elbow into Tristan's midsection.
Couple of them.
Yeah.
Jerome kisses it off the window and gives the Cavaliers the lead. Donovan's gone for back-to-back 30-point games. He had 36 on Saturday, 33 here today as Dean Wade rescues that possession and he sends it back to Ty Jerome.
Yeah, he's been great with the media. Really appreciate Ime, and he's definitely a straight shooter. Former teammate of mine. I was there when Tristan was a rookie.
And that series finale with the Grizzlies next week. But man, the schedule is so tough. And Mitchell missed it. Another offensive rebound.
Make no mistake, you know, George can play.
Jerome buries it. Long rebound at Garland. Almost stolen by Whitmore. Now, again, this time Jerome from the corner.
And that's the thing. You don't want to just a silly gamble there. Got to stay disciplined.
Send it in, Jerome.
Ty Jerome's a hooper, man.
His third three.
Adams slings it back toward Whitmore. That's broken up by Ty Jerome. Jerome on the dribble, he lays it up and in. Ty Jerome now has 18 off the Cavalier bench.
Smart play by Ty Jerome. Put himself in between Eason.
That was still a difficult transitionary time, both physically and mentally for the team. Losing a guy who everybody's saying would have been our rookie of the year. And there's Ty Jerome. Rookie Edwards on Mitchell. That's one of the tasks that Justin has been up to as of late. Ty Jerome swishing the in-rhythm triple. Maxey behind him. Jerome all day to shoot, and Jerome is not going to miss that one. 3 for 3 now from beyond. This is Ty Jerome.
Crashing the boards, getting multiple looks.
Jerome into the paint, and the floater falls. Ty Jerome staying perfect from the floor tonight. Garland too strong, a battle. George and Strus going for it. Max gets to it. George Niang to Jerome in the corner. Ty Jerome steps back and hits another.
Stayed with the play, missed it initially, but then got the putback.
And nobody got back on defense that time as Jerome lays it up and in despite drawing the contact. He's okay.
Moving the basketball and incorporating a bunch of different guys into their offense. It's not one or two dimensional.
Jerome from way outside. And Ty Jerome stays perfect from beyond the arc.
This has to be one of the better offensive performances by your Sixers this season, in particular in the shooting department.
And this guy just cannot miss. 8 for 9 now from the floor for Ty Jerome. Loose ball picked up by Jerome.
We mentioned that this is a Cavaliers team that is used to scoring in bunches and going on long runs, as we see Jerome knock down yet another one.
He's perfect from beyond the arc. Then he was traded with R. Kelly Oubre Jr. to OKC in the CP3 trade. Then he was traded to Houston, where he was waived as he hits another 7th three-pointer tonight for Jerome. Lead 4 for the Sixers. Mitchell. Jerome from the corner. And Ty Jerome makes it a 1-point game. 11.5 to play.
Pursued by the pesky Van Vliet. A lot of hands on Garland as Garland escapes. Sends it off to Jerome. Jerome late in the shot clock. Steadies himself and scores. He's benefited also by a couple of veterans that the Pistons have brought in.
And he acknowledged that. That's been huge. If he didn't have those guys, I think they'd be really struggling.
Jerome off one leg. He floats over Cunningham.
If you can make that pass across the top of the two defenders, he's wide open just for a second. Brilliant play.
Here's Jerome. Ty Jerome.
Where he's at, each offensive possession, you're going to have a problem at the end of it.
wild about that is here's Jerome working his way inside. He'll float it up and in. Jumps back to the newly inserted rookie and Jalen Tyson. Back to Mitchell. There's Mobley again. Mitchell once more, right around Stewart. He'll dump off to Jerome. Jerome shakes around Holland. Hand floats it in.
Great job, Evan Mobley.
Here comes Darius Garland. We approach the midway point of the third quarter.
No reason not to go back to Jarrett Allen and get him a little easy shot. He's been killing them inside.
Everyone else is 3 for 22.
Wow.
Good three-point range.
Good defense by the Cavs.
Jerome got it off the Tyson feed. Just over a minute in fourth quarter. Jerome with his head up, he'll lay it in. Boy, the threat of the pass to Allen throws a couple of the Pistons.
55 points to the opposition.
That's Nico's charge of the ball handling, and with the second unit, he's got to be more efficient.
Ty Jerome hits it from the paint.
A heavier set, but just really good shooter. His legs always ready to get the quick release up with that knee bend.
Ty Jerome making 4 points for him. Or else it would have been his third triple of the game. I actually gave him 3 there. Now right now, give him 16. It may come back 1. That's a triple. Jerome, a one-hander. Down it comes. Jerome puts it back up and in. Ty Jerome at 6 feet 5, mixing it up. They have ruled it a 2. 2.5 minutes left, third quarter. Miami down 11. Rozier turns it over, and here comes Ty Jerome working against Hero, and he navigated his way in safely. Broken up by the All-Star break, but 9 of the next 10 games are on the road for Miami. Ty Jerome for 3. Ty Jerome. That's the best home record in the NBA this year. Jerome off glass, and down the well it drops. Yeah. You don't hear much about the duo of Mobley and Allen. They're not spectacular, but they're so solid and efficient as Jerome scores again.
Yeah.
20 points for Jerome.
Who has been outstanding. 16 points against Houston Tuesday, dropped 35 on Monday. That was a game without Trae Young. And Ty Jerome gets inside to score, and 1 for Jerome.
By Daniels.
Garland shifty. Jerome, little floater off the glass is good.
Well, Hunter already with 8 points in this game, the #1 bench scorer in the NBA.
Jerome, patient. And the back-to-back Frenchmen going 1-1 overall. Wemby and then Rizachet. As Ty Jerome continues his excellent start tonight. He's got 9 points.
Matthews, another guy who's just been struggling mightily, a great shooter, but in the last 8 games shooting 18% from the floor and now under 20% from 3.
Jerome again. Quinn Snyder and Donovan Mitchell are still very close. Donovan credits Quinn with a lot of his development as Jerome scores and a little skip. Then he was all defensive first team, and now he's an all-star for the first time. Donovan Mitchell, a little shake and bake. Mobley to Merrill, sets up Jerome, who hits a 3. TNT. Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller. Taylor Rooks will have the call for you from Memphis. Kenny Atkinson finally being validated. Didn't need the validation inside the game, but after the way it ended, as Jerome scores again. The way it ended in Brooklyn.
Mobley with the block. Boy, the Dallas bench wanted goaltending. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell shovels to LeVert. Now Jerome for 3. Hey, knocks it down. Cavaliers are #1 in the East at 39-9. The Celtics are 5.5 games back into second place as that Jerome floater goes. All game, they get to rest up for that Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-back. Another added bonus of the big lead here this afternoon. Jerome burrows inside. He'll float it up and in. Jerome looks to work inside hard. He finds an avenue and lays it in. Neither the Cavaliers nor the Celtics play tomorrow, and it will set the stage for Tuesday night in this building as Ty Jerome cranks another 3.
Mitchell one-on-one with Hauser. Mitchell draws a lot of attention. Jerome, Euros, banker goes. Good angle for Ty Jerome. 10 points in 9 minutes. Mitchell lines it up. Off. Grab by Mitchell. Jerome floats it off the window. Good, and a foul.
Merrill off the bench. Shooter out of Utah State. Ty Jerome is checked into. He can score and does. Runs it up off the glass.
A moment ago, last time down, just got him even.
Jerome to the basket, fires and fills it. If he's got the ball in his hands, it's probably going up. Ty Jerome to the lane. Shots on the way, and it's down. What did I tell you? If he's got the ball, it's going up.
But concentrating on this one, though, Joe, because this will still be a great home stand. But they got to get this game.
Yep, Jerome in the lane, shoots again and scores it.
Cade Cunningham with 12 guys, as always, live odds, subject to change.
Thank you, Natalie. Cavaliers get it in the hands of Ty Jerome.
3 turnovers, Cavaliers with 6 of them. Washington scored 7 points off of those turnovers so far. So the Wizards still looking to make their first free throw of the game. Garland swinging it over to Ty Jerome. Jerome with a tough drive and finish. Been saying that the last 6 games about him. Allen swinging it over. Ty Jerome standing in scoring.
You see right now, the Cavaliers are turning it up a couple notches, and it's going to start with Donovan Mitchell.
Jerome with a tough Euro step inside. Offensive rebound by Tyson. To Jerome. Second chance opportunities. Rebounded by Jerome. Cavs can't get that separation that they want.
Naz Reid misses the Timberwolves' 11th straight shot. Jerome goes and gets it. He gets into the paint, puts it up and in, and Ty Jerome has a chance for the 3-point play.
Nice shot block and nice walk by Rudy Gobert.
Jerome banks and scores. He was being swatted at by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Edwards is trying to get himself on track. Not yet. He's but 1 for 10. Jerome, long distance over Reed.
Well, he just made up for his fumble of the basketball. He will not hear about it now. Big 3 by the Rook.
Whoa, steal by Jerome. How do you like that? Merrill knocked it away right to Ty Jerome.
Was just the ability to continue to create extra possessions, and that has come through forcing opponent turnovers and offensive rebounds.
Ty Jerome, who has had a huge season
They've been
for
tremendous.
Cleveland.
We saw this from the time he stepped on the floor last year with Brooklyn of how he gets downhill with a lot of ease.
Jerome connects on a 3. Chua to his right. McBride can't finish it. Nice job by Merrill to keep Chua off the offensive glass. Here's Jerome curling it in, plus the foul, and a chance for 3. Jerome. A little leaner is good. Bullies his way in, 13 in the quarter for Jalen Brunson.
And New York can find some success in those one-on-one matchups in the paint.
Jerome again. You know, does that rest the Cavs have gotten, does it help them in the playoffs? As Jerome hits the 3. Tom Thibodeau has always believed, hey, playing the minutes like that. Hastily getting into a 2-for-1 here. Jerome, off one leg, floats it in.
He called it such a win, which for them it ended up being as Evan and Donovan won the skills competition and Kenny coached Team Shaq, which won Sunday's tournament.
Kenny Atkinson back to this head coaching position too, where it looked like a couple years ago he was going to take Charlotte, doesn't, ends up here, and it's worked out nicely thus far. Timeout, New York.
Jerome with the handle, shot clock winding down. Between the leg dribble. Navigates to the free throw line, floats it up and in. Jerome getting creative. Jerome with the handle. Matched up with Kennard. Crossover. Another crossover. The floater won't go. Got it back. Puts it up. And boom. You know I'm not a fan of floaters. However, when they go in, there's not much I can say. I was going to say, it's the same thing. If it goes in, it's a great shot.
Once again, it's Ty Jerome uses the floater. As long as it goes in.
Jerome, step back 3. Jerome!
rebound. Edey. His pass stolen by Jerome. Jerome stops, pops, takes! Oh, what a three from Ty Jerome! And Mobley clears it for the Cavaliers.
Great effort by Zach Edey on the offensive end.
Jerome, boom! Jerome with 19. John Morant back out there on the floor for the Grizzlies. Jerome and the lane scores again. 21. 10 of his 23 in the fourth quarter of that win against Orlando. They have some work to do here in the fourth in Cleveland. Jerome fading away. It's his world. Where they've come back and won, where they trailed by 10 or more points. Second most in the NBA. Here's Jerome and traffic again. Ty Jerome.
Lefko rocking the Ron Burgundy suit. Jerome is in, and Jerome instantly delivers. What a run Ty Jerome has been on. Jerome now a switch with the big Pataze. Jerome off one leg. He's got it. Off the window. Ty Jerome creative.
But because of the lack of shooting with the Magic, because of Suggs being out, because of his brother Mo being out.
Wow.
Jerome.
He drills a three.
So you talk about they brought back the same roster. Well, yeah, he was technically on their roster, Ryan, but he wasn't out on the floor, and he wasn't doing that. You've just got to try to reduce their efficiency by not letting them play to their strengths.
Jerome doesn't miss.
Like letting Ty Jerome just walk into a three to come out the way they did tonight and play as hard and as well as they have as Ty Jerome scores again.
Let's check in with 3D Dennis Scott.
And Stan, you'll love this, talking to Kobe Altman and Kenny Atkinson. Jerome knocks down another three.
He's 6'2", guarding a 6'9" player.
Now 30-13. Ty Jerome way outside. Brown with 10 points. Tatum with 13 points. Ty Jerome, the runners up and good, and Jerome 5 points off the bench. Basketball jargon when you were playing on the bench?
No, that's a volleyball term. That's a volleyball term.
Jerome again has some space. Nails another. Ty Jerome, just what the doctor ordered coming off the bench.
Jerome on the Cavalier logo. He'll orchestrate this offensive sequence by uncorking a three and canning it.
Well, the guy's playing, and he gets a couple of just terrible calls called against him, which Evan did. And it throws his rhythm off. Everyone talks about how the guy's not playing well.
Swings one over to Jerome. Jerome's picked up by Walker. Jerome finds an alley. My goodness, he'll float and score as the seas parted, and Ty Jerome. He had been in the starting lineup. Reed is giving the Blazers strong play off the bench. Jerome floats and scores. Boy.
Good defense by the Cavs. Had him scrambling all the way down to that shot, so you can live with that.
Jerome banks and scores. See what the Cavs can do with these final 6 seconds. Jerome works it on Reed. Jerome for three. Hey! Knocks it down. That is a huge 5-point swing. There have been just a load of foul shots. 27 taken by the Blazers, 21 by the Cavaliers. Jerome gets fouled. He puts it up and in. 113 apiece. Ty Jerome works on Simons, gets to the paint, floats it up, and floats it in.
He's the only player in this game in double figures. He's got a dozen. Floater, Jerome. First field goal for Ty. A deep one from Ty Jerome for three. And he's got a couple of buckets now.
They're trying to get a switch from the guard position.
We've seen them take advantage of those matchups multiple times. Jerome, and one for Ty Jerome.
We're embracing the human experience right now and finding beauty in the struggle. And it's been a little bit of a struggle as 3 games under 500. Jerome with the putback.
But they are also masterful of rejecting that screen and getting a good look.
Ty Jerome laces the deep three. And the lead is up to 11 for the Cavaliers.
You can't mess around with this Miami Heat team.
Jerome made a little space and got the auspicious bounce. 22, 8 of 14. And this is the type of offensive aggressiveness that you were alluding to at the top of the show. Jerome for three.
bullet pass by Jeffries.
Jerome.
You've got to get back, set your D.
Mobley finds the cutting Jerome. Good head and shoulder fake.
Kuzma had it poked away from behind. DeAndre Hunter back to Allen. Allen toss out to Ty Jerome. Jerome down the lane. The floater drops.
Giannis put in a tough predicament there. Didn't want to commit.
Jerome finds Mitchell all alone for three. Off the heel. Mobley the offensive rebound. Jerome the reload. Good. Kuzma muscling with Merrill. Can't hit. Giannis comes out of there with it. His pass broken up and stolen. The long arms of Mobley. Ty Jerome, easy deuce.
Cleveland has.
You do have to enjoy the success you have in the regular season. We're all wanting to get to the playoffs and the World Championship, but man, these guys are working hard every night. You got to take some solace in that.
Nice little kick. 3 defenders go to John Morant. He does a good job of finding Vince for a clean look.
Jerome hunting the shot, scores over Pippen. Jerome off of that Cavalier bench, as is Merrill. Jerome says, why not me? And strike a pose. 16 and counting. Jerome will bring it across. Working again, Anthony Black. Ty Jerome got the floater to go. Mitchell with just a solitary field goal, raising up. Great pass to Merrill, one more to Jerome. And Ty Jerome knocks down another floater. Jerome against Banchero. Jerome with a tough attempt. Man, it's really falling his way in the ballgame so far. He drew it up. Caleb Houston with a 9-1-1. Ty Jerome quickly got his get back real fast.
People probably are trying to figure that out. How do you know that? But they won't have 16 regular season games remaining.
Ty Jerome. And they keep it alive here. An extended effort here for the Cavaliers. Jerome down the lane. Whistle, foul, count the basket, and send to the line. To finish up the Kenny Isaac. What's the toughest part? Was it? This is the Kawhi Leonard we all remember, and the Kawhi Leonard we need. Jerome the runner. It's good. Back and forth we go. Clever handle.
Good job by Simmons keeping him in front of him.
2 minutes. Jerome the runner off the window is good. Boy, the Clippers played 22 great seconds of defense.
Defense there by Kevin Carter. Staying with Jerome. Jerome, oh man. Jerome back-to-back buckets. 3 balls starting to work after hitting only 1 of their first 8. They've hit 6 of their last 8. Oh, nice little move there.
13-point deficit early in this game, and they battled back, but that is a problem. They keep continuing to give up those layups, and Keon Ellis is looking, and overall, just 33% from the field. So it has been their 3-point shooting that has kept them alive in this.
Man, Ty Jerome and their guard play.
Yes.
May be back in action tomorrow when the Kings take on the Chicago Bulls. Ty Jerome with a stare down at the Kings bench.
This was the group that did a great job defensively against Memphis. They did a great job in that first half.
You know, hot hand, get it to him fast. But you in the paint, go up and score the ball.
Jerome on the drive, tied up. Gets it to trickle in. Durant drops it off, finds Oso again. And that's the thing, there's Martin, great hustle, but Merrill there for the save. Merrill on the drive and kick. Garland up top to Jerome.
He said face.
Jerome trying to turn the corner, floats it up and in.
Can make him shoot jump.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Book going glass. Jerome loads up. So 3 threes here after it. KD kind of stumbles on the pass, stolen away by Jerome. He'll stop and pull from three.
Trailing KJ Martin on that fast break.
Martin and missed T the last 4 games with an elbow injury, and he got up high to cash in. Cavaliers working around the perimeter. The rebound to Ty Jerome. 85-61. That reminds me of old school Eastern Conference basketball, Big T. And that is one deep triple. Hook shot short, tapped out, picked up Merrill. Jerome from downtown.
He's dialed in.
Quick pace to this. Jerome the other way. He'll flail and then throw one up and in on the run.
A lot of force early in the game.
Up the floor, dribbling into a rhythm three is Ty Jerome. Coming off the bench for the Blazers at the 5 spot where they are extraordinarily deep into the paint. Jerome sneaks in with a push shot. Three is wayward, off the fingertips. Cavaliers swap ins with a 5-point lead.
And Tumani had Jarrett Allen running at him that time, and that's good point guard play because the pass was a little low.
Jerome into the lane, sails to the glass, hits a runner.
Those other defenders, I don't think they'll be able to mess with it the way the Blazers run that play. So we'll see if they kind of go to that. And they might have to. They might have to dial up some kind of answer. Ty Jerome's going.
9 to shoot for the Cavaliers. Klingon steps out on Jerome. Snaps up a triple, and he drilled it.
Yeah, they might have to go to the lob play. So now Matisse, he's 1 pass away, wide open.
Jerome outside, he'll trigger, and he counters with a 3. Blazers 16 of 43, 37%. They pull within 5, 9:22 remaining. Ty Jerome off the screen. Draws Thibault off his feet and laid it up and in. You don't see that happen very often.
Levine's pass, Jesus, picked off. It was right at Ty Jerome, who read it as Jerome stops, floats, and scores. 5 games to play for the Cavs. Jerome to the foul line, in on Malik Monk. Hesitates, pirouettes, floats, and scores. He'll take his time. Had a dribble out of danger, eventually feed it to Mobley. Now it's Jerome. Jerome puts it on the floor, try to draw a foul. He doesn't get it.
Cavs have turned up the heat just a little bit on their physicality. Really start putting some bodies on people to establish. He's going to shoot it, first of all, and he's pretty proficient at it.
Mobley with a ball fake finds Jerome inside. Jerome banks and scores. How about that by the 7-footer? 91-79, just 2:15 to go. Jerome nestles inside. He'll float it up and in. Ty Jerome at his return has a dozen points. Boy, Mitchell spilled Ellis. Off it goes to Jerome. Jerome gets fouled. He puts it up and in. Oh, what a circus shot by Ty Jerome.
Had to make a difficult behind-the-back pass. Did Sabonis.
Jerome with a pump fake. Gets around Ellis. Hey, floats it up and in. And Ty Jerome. Just a couple of games ago, 4 after tonight, for the Cavs to get to the finish line here in the regular season as Jerome walks into a 3 and buries it over DeRozan. The Lakers, really, the Lakers aren't much clearer either. Lakers are in 3rd place as Ty Jerome nestles inside. He floats it up and in.
Played phenomenal. Been one of the best centers in the league and just ultimate rim protector. Ty Jerome, back-to-back baskets. Had a little off cadence.
Thanks for joining us here tonight on this Tuesday as Hunter draws a crowd. Jerome hoists a 3 and knocks it down. As for the Cavs, it's Mobley, Jerome, Merrill, Hunter, and Wade. Jerome watched by Horton Tucker. Got him in the air. He'll bank and score as Ty Jerome has opened this ball game 4 for 5. Could not bank it in. Jerome no looks a feed to Wade. Back to Merrill. Merrill slashes. Back it goes to Jerome. Hey! Knocks it down.
Ty Jerome is just, he's ever.
He'll hook one out to Merrill. Merrill right back inside, finds Mobley. Jerome is back outside. He hits a 3. Oh my.
That's a heck of a.
Bulls have made it a game once again. Cavs 90, Bulls 81. Jerome Zigzags inside, fades away, gets fouled, he puts it up and in, and Ty Jerome says enough is enough as he looks to restore some order.
Think about that between the first round and the second round. So it was a mixture of a lot of scrimmages, a lot of 3-on-3 competition, and one-on-one games.
It's Jerome through traffic and a bump, and he can't get it. And finally, as he sticks with it, Ty Jerome puts it up and in, having a career year. And gets the 2 and off the bench with his first basket.
I think it's great that Coach Atkinson has Hunter as Ty Jerome, his teammate at Virginia, knocks down. Now he's on the. Oh, what a move by Jerome!
Inside for 2.
Did you see how slow that Euro step and then slowed down?
But the bottom line is they'll get home court with the win tonight. And dancing Jerome with a series of feints and a jab and a hit. 22-10 run.
All led by number 2 in black, Ty Jerome, getting it done.
Into Siakam, over Siakam, and down over Siakam.
Right there, because once Ty gets into the paint, the shot blocker comes over, and then that's when the offensive rebounding starts to happen. Ty Jerome again. And defender like right here.
And he has some nice defense. He works on Hunter, triggering Siakam the other way. But then here comes Cleveland's defense, and they're a terrific defensive team coming in. Number 9 in the NBA.
Oh, man.
Something certainly to keep track of. Jerome again, Nimhard is on him. Jerome will wheel the bump. He fires as he puts it up and in. Kept his composure.
And Wiggins being healthy and being more aggressive. It's not a third option, Eric Spoelstra said.
Ty Jerome.
Isaac Okoro checks in. That ball's kicked back to Jerome. Jerome reset, shot clock at 4. He'll launch and score. Ty Jerome with his second 3 of this.
Come up on the 9-minute mark left in the half.
And if you're a Cavs fan, you're holding your breath. You need Spider Mitchell out there as Jerome knocks down the nice floater. He's still visibly limping. And he's taken more threes this year than he has in his career. As he gets more comfortable, it's going to make him dangerous. Jerome flex on him. They throw it at you when you're coming out of a timeout with a drawn-up play. And what it does is it takes the ball out of the hands of your designated playmakers. As Ty Jerome knocks down another tough floater. Head to the rim, Cavs hesitant to come, but Strus, I've got to think Strus has got to be coming back in this ball game as Ty Jerome.
Boy, this thing has been intense right from the start. First ever playoff meeting between these two franchises. Jerome, he connects on another 3-point jack. It's a testament to this Cleveland defense. Everyone talks about their offensive prowess. Defense has been incredible, and speaking of which, Ty Jerome having himself a night.
You got to look at, if you're Miami, in ways to get Tyler Hero free.
Boy, excellent defense here, trying to stay in front of Jerome. Unbelievable.
And Davion Mitchell drawing the assignment of Jerome. Tyler Hero getting the switch. If Jerome knocks this down.
Are you kidding?
Fans are reacting to that. They got to see the replay where, bam, he did walk. It was an odd-looking play.
Jerome stops, fires, and scores.
The shots he doesn't block, he absolutely changes or alters or deflects and makes you think twice.
Jerome took a lot of contact. He puts it up and in. Larson found him. And Ty Jerome just keeps on trucking.
When he sees the ball go through the basket, it just kind of unleashes his athleticism, makes him a better basketball player.
Ty Jerome on the attack. Jerome directing traffic. Stutter step in the paint by Jovic. Jerome. Deep three. Feeling it. Ty Jerome from distance. Jerome, clock down. Jerome, finger roll. Looks back at the bench. Back to 20. On the drive, Ty Jerome.
Yes, Larson, that cutting has really been effective against the Cavs defense. Andrew Wiggins has got to do a great job of putting pressure on the defense in that mid-post as Jerome has his way on that nice floater. to at least get near the paint to be able to cause some mismatches.
Ty Jerome, it is target practice. I don't think anyone expected this. It's Jerome, soft little touch.
And the thing about it was...
Trying to cap some space, Candace, in the paint. Jerome finds an opening, splash.
The Heat Nation experience a playoff victory at home. This could be their 8th straight playoff loss at home. That 3 counts, it will.
Defense is loaded, and Halliburton's ability to create an advantage for his teammate there with that quick pass to McConnell.
Jerome, well, we saw that so many times in the first round against Miami.
You get a transition opportunity where you don't face a set defense, and Ty Jerome just has not found his rhythm here early.
Again, it's Okoro making the little plays for Cleveland.
To get into that pick and roll action, get into the teeth of the defense, and create good looks.
Jerome turning the corner, taking contact.
Further away from the offensive player than he should be.
Hunter, boy, you just think about how he changed this Cleveland team midseason. Jerome just relentless with his offense. But just look out how far Indiana is extending with their defense. Jerome able to get into the paint, may have gotten away with his step, and he gets a friendly bounce. So Thomas Bryant, who didn't play through 3.5 quarters, wasting no time.
Yeah, and Rick Carlisle, because of foul trouble, Jerome able to get all the way to the rim.
They come up empty. You see the 3-point numbers tonight. Huge discrepancy for the Pacers. Ty Jerome, the leader. Big shot for the Cavs. Continuing what has been just a magnificent season for Indiana. 23 points. Jerome steps back and hits. Andrew Nembhard, remember what he did in game 1. Playoff career high, 23 points. He hit 5 threes in that game. And he's got 8 tonight. That is Jerome with a little flick.
When you're playing against with a small behind him than he has been in the past. Normally he would still float around on the perimeter. Now he's going down punishing guys in the post.
Jerome able to hit the floater. And look at the discrepancy in the shooting numbers so far here in game 4. Just staggering. Ty Jerome left wide open. Maybe the first defensive breakdown tonight for Indiana. Evan Mobley having to work awfully hard. Offensive rebound to get it to Jerome from deep, and he hits.
And he is sensing the moment.
Ty Jerome, meantime, inserted for the first time tonight, and he's going to go for broke. Mathurin, pretty drive on the reverse, just couldn't hit. Jerome's going to pull again, and he buries it. Well, this crowd on its feet, better than 19,000, trying to will the Cavaliers to a potential game 6. Ty Jerome